If you're thinking about moving to the Seattle suburbs, don't make this big mistake that a lot of buyers make. They don't realize that there's other costs involved when you're purchasing a home. And some of these surprises are not that great. We're going to go over that. This is part one, and we also have part two. Beyond the city, finding a simpler life outside of the city. Is that possible? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, there must be a better way that I can live? Oh my gosh, I know I have. And yes, it is. Maybe you're tired of traffic. Maybe you're tired of congestion. Maybe you're tired of commuting, all the people, all the noise. And there is other ways that you can live. You can find charming little towns, peaceful coastal towns. You can live nudged up against the mountains, you can be buried in the woods, or you can live in a nice little community where there's people right there, but you still have your land, you've got your yard, you've got your pets, you've got your fence, you've got your privacy, everything you dreamed of. That is definitely possible in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe you're relocating to Seattle or Tacoma or one of the military bases. Lots and lots of places to move to, I promise. And I'll also go over the prices of these areas and what it's like to live in them, because they all have their own special characters for sure. So let's get started. My name's Meryl Lee, and I have Living in Seattle Suburbs. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'm gonna go over 10 items with you. Let's get started on this one. So what's the biggest surprise that people find when they move here? It doesn't feel like Seattle. No, it doesn't. Oh my gosh. A lot of people picture Seattle when they think about Western Washington, but one thing you've got to get outside of every city, because everything changes per city, per town, per hamlet, wherever you go, you will find forests, farmland, beaches, waterfront towns, communities, where people actually wave at each other. Oh, what a concept. That's one of the reasons why so many people fall in love with living here. I know I have. I just have really come to appreciate this area. I've lived in other states and I've traveled the world, and I'll tell you, this is my little utopia here at Washington State. There's so much to do, and it's all relatively close. You could be on the beach and be the beach person, or you can go to the mountains and be the mountain person. You can have your animals, and it's okay. Some towns let you have as much as you want. So we always go over that too when you move. So let's talk about something that's pretty important. Don't buy a house until you have driven the commute. Oh my gosh, what a concept. Yes, you want to know exactly what that drive's going to be and what it's going to look like for you. So I always recommend, don't just look at the miles, look at the time it takes, because it can be 10 miles and take you 30 minutes, or vice versa. It just depends. If you're Mario Gonzalez, around here we have a lot of ferries, bridges, lots of construction, lots of growth, lots of things happening. There's different rush hours. I know Boeing has their little periods throughout the day because it runs 24/7. And then you have your tech, they have theirs. You've got your school traffic. Lots and lots of things that I always keep in mind when I'm going somewhere. And I do travel all over. I'll go down to Tacoma to see family on a regular basis. That's why that's one of my territories. And but I always kind of like drive around Seattle. I mean, I love Seattle, I love it, but I would not want to live there, and I don't really like to go down into it. It's a lot, but we do go down there several times a year and enjoy what it has to offer, because that's what makes it so wonderful, isn't it? So drive the commute, then you know you're going to be happy going to work from your house. There's also a lot of back roads around here. I mean, there's 3 ways going north and south. And you could take these little back roads if you want. And I have a friend, she works in Seattle on the waterfront. She lives in Everett by the waterfront. And that's a chunk of time there. And she generally takes Highway 99 all the way up. And she said she rarely has a commute that's over an hour and a half. And she works the business hours pretty much. So commuting's important, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. Another thing is, every town has its own personality. Oh my gosh. The first thing that comes to mind is like Snohomish. I live there myself. I have a small business. We talk about community. There's a First Street there that's just full of antique stores, secondhand shops. It used to be the antique capital of the Pacific Northwest. I think it still is. lots and lots of little restaurants that are locally owned. Everything's locally owned. They have kept a lot of the big stores out, and it's on a river. Every holiday, if you want something to do, Snohomish is going to have it. There's a lot of generational people who've grown up there. You know, it's the type of town where people go to the football games. It's just a beautiful little town. You know, Halloween is wonderful. Christmas is wonderful. There's a historical district. They have tours, wonderful women's networking group, just lots of things to support businesses. And you can live in Snohomish. You can live in the historical district in a beautiful historical house. You can go out a little bit further and live in a regular type of home or condos, or even further and have your acreage, you know, 5, 10, 20 acres, whatever you want. And there's also rivers going through Snohomish. So it's got a lot of character. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a lot of different than Mukilteo or Everett or Bothell or Marysville. They're all have their own characters for sure. Another thing that we need to look at is the weather. Oh, wow. It's interesting because people say, oh, it rains there all the time. And I just go, yeah, it's really bad. We all do, but it's really not. And I'll tell you, we can have it all in the same day. I have seen in the same day, sun, clouds, wind, and snow and hail. I mean, it's crazy. Today, it's been beautiful, not too warm. It's been in the 70s, and we've had really hot weather for days. And all of a sudden today, it's cooler and it's windy. It's so weird. It's like, where is this wind coming from? And I love it. I absolutely love it. We have a 2% chance of rain. So it's kind of like, okay. But one thing that's different about Pacific Northwest weather is that we cannot really predict what's happening because we have the ocean, we've got the Olympic Mountains, we've got the Puget Sound, we've got the Cascade. Just a lot of things affect our weather as compared to like when I lived in Missouri and they're like, there's a tornado, it's coming to you in 20 minutes and this is its path and it's going to hit you. And they were accurate. I was like, why isn't this like this in Seattle? Because they'd say it's going to rain today and it didn't, or it's not going to rain today and it did. So that's why we have this weather pattern that changes everything. So, and also some communities get a lot more wind, some get more rain, some get more sun. It's really interesting. It can be a certain temperature up here in Marysville, and I will always look at the weather before I go down to Seattle. One thing I love about the Pacific Northwest is that nature is not a place you visit, you actually live it. You do. I mean, you can be entrenched in nature as much as you want. This is a wonderful area to grow gardens. We're all like, what's your garden like? What are you growing? I mean, you can grow everything here. The weather is perfect and you need to, you know, hit it when it happens, but you can pretty much grow year round too. We have a lot of nurseries in the area and they're wonderful local nurseries and they're more than happy. Nature is something that's just really around here. We've got bald eagles everywhere. Imagine a deer in your yard. I mean, I've had one in my yard. Rabbits are very common. I live in a pretty populated neighborhood and we have rabbits, raccoons, and squirrels. Those are really common, and crows. I would say that's our most common Mother Nature animals that we have. So that's like everyday life for me. I love the little creatures that live in and around our neighborhood. And in fact, there's a little creature, a raccoon called Jimothy that's become quite popular right now. He's in Seattle, but he's had some kind of birth defect and he's really short. And he's lived down in Seattle for a while. I mean, it's on the news every day. I love that name too, Jimothy. It just cracks me up. So, you know, a lot of people are animal lovers. You can walk around, walk your dogs. There's dog parks. You can go to the beach. They've got designated beaches for dogs where you can off leash. Everybody really tries to make things work for people who want to be out with Mother Nature. And it's everyday life, living outside of the city for sure. Another thing is country living isn't always as simple as it looks. And you can live on acreage and that is amazing, but can you fix things? Can you use a hammer and nail? Or do you know somebody who can? Because the more yard you have, the more maintenance you need. And around here with our weather, you do need to mow like every week. You really do, during the times that we have the lush green grass. And we always kind of watch in the fall, like October-ish, when it starts to get cool and everybody goes out and mows and they're like, is that our last mow of the year? We'll see. But you know, the rain brings the beautiful grass and also makes all the plants grow. So living in the country, if you go further out from Seattle, we have things like septic systems and wells. If you buy land, you're gonna have a septic system, which is your own waste disposal system on your property, and you're gonna have a well, very highly likely. You don't have to pay the county or the city for your water or your sewer, but you do need to maintain them. And that's a yearly task that you want to maintain. And when we go to purchase property, we always be very careful about it. Make sure that all the inspections are done that need to be done when you're purchasing, to make sure that your well water is working, it's gonna be clean, and your septic's flowing correctly. So lots of things to kind of think about moving a little bit further out. All right, the price of the house isn't the whole story. Really? What does that mean? Well, you get pre-approved and it's like, oh, congratulations, you can buy an $800,000 house. And then, oh, wait a minute, you've got taxes, you've got insurance. What if you have an HOA? That's a homeowners association. That's where you move into a community, and they've created a community. It could be gated. Could be sidewalks, playgrounds. There could be a community house. It just depends. They're all very different, and they generally charge you to keep these communities maintained. And they can charge you, you know, $100 a month or $1,000. It just depends. So you want to make sure when you're looking around and you find something with a HOA, you want to make sure that you know exactly how much that HOA is going to cost you every month and what is it going to cover. So that's the CC&Rs, the community restrictions, and you want to read them. So when we make an offer on homes around here, I always add an addendum that states this offer is contingent on my buyer reading and accepting the community restrictions and regulations, or the HOA rules and regulations. So oftentimes we put an offer in and we haven't had a chance to even look at them then, but they have to get them to you like within 10 days. So you still have that chance. And I have had clients pull out. I've done it. We were buying a condo on the east side, and it was like, see that hill right over there? That's coming down. And not just down, like it's gonna fall down. And so they could have a lot of assessments and things that need to be done for the future. You want to look at their, when purchasing in a community, you want to look at their community notes. There should be board meetings. There should be meetings every month. There should be like a savings account. Do you have work that needs to be done in the future? That should be available to you. And how much is it going to cost? And who's going to pay for it? So if everything needs a new roof and you're moving in, guess who's going to help pay for that new roof? Yeah, you. And I've had them come up to clients who have lived there and said, we're putting a new roof in. It's actually going on that section over there. It's not your section yet, but it's going to cost you like $6,000, and we need the money by the end of the month. So, you know, go get a loan or whatever you need to do. It's kind of interesting. I've also had people who live in communities who've never had anything happen at all. I also have communities where they say there's an HOA, but there isn't. It's defunct. So sometimes you run into a little red tape, and that's when you want a really good team that you're working with, your lender and your broker, who know what they're doing, because I ran into it. And it could be a lot of tap dancing, a lot of red tape, and you want to make sure things are correct and working the way they should. And if it states in all the legal paperwork that there's an HOA, there needs to be one. If there isn't, they need to follow the proper process to get it out of there. So we got to make sure that that's looking the way it should all be looking. So the price of the house isn't the whole story. Your mortgage payment is your mortgage payment, but there could be lots of other things added to it. And we always want to make sure that when you purchase a home, you are not what I call house poor. Yeah, maybe you have been pre-approved for $800,000, but is that really the monthly mortgage payment you want with insurance, HOA, taxes, all that, utilities, commuting gas, food, everything. You got to add all of that in. There are several more expenses that we need to go over, but we ran out of time today. So don't forget to watch part 2, where we go over hidden expenses when you purchase a home with living in Seattle suburbs.